Hello guys, what's happening? And thank you for tuning in to Rules for Rebels and Side Hustle Tuesdays, part of our side hustling series. Today is episode 72. How many of you guys out there watching this currently have a dating profile on an online dating site? Well, if you do, today's episode may be especially relevant to you, and maybe you can even pick up some online dating tips to optimize your OkCupid or Tinder profile. And even if you're not currently involved in online dating, I'm sure you'll enjoy the business aspect of today's episode. Today's side hustler started a service helping guys optimize their online dating profiles. This story is one I can personally relate to. Prior to meeting my current girlfriend, I was on every online dating site under the sun, and I actually met my current girlfriend of 5 years off of OkCupid. Kind of a funny story. To this day, she still likes to tell friends, family, and anybody who asks that we met at work. Even though we've never actually worked together. But back then there was a little bit more of a stigma attached to online dating. This is before the days of Tinder. It wasn't nearly as mainstream as it is today. Anyhow, the main takeaway and lesson from today's side hustle story is that oftentimes the side hustle you start off with may not wind up being the big success or the big moneymaker you thought it would, but it oftentimes can lead to other better opportunities, and sometimes it just serves as something to awaken your entrepreneurial spirit. Many of my side hustles I've started have made a little bit of money, but maybe not necessarily been worthwhile continuing. But oftentimes those side hustles wound up sprouting into another similar project or another idea entirely, and that's what happened with today's side hustler. Today's side hustler is a woman from Massachusetts named Emma Samasco. Just prior to starting this side hustle, Emma had recently met her boyfriend through an online dating website. That boyfriend went on to become her current husband, but before meeting him, however, she couldn't help but notice how many men's online dating profiles were, according to her, just plain horrible. She said 70% or more of profiles she saw came off to her as being one of three things: boring, lame, or creepy. Three things that are definitely not good to have in your online dating profile. Now, Emma picked a good market. Online dating over the past few years has really grown, and it's estimated that today something like 30% of long-term relationships today began off of an online dating site. Over 50 million people have tried online dating, which means 50 million people have had to craft an online dating profile, and assuming men make up at least 50% of that, which in reality they probably make up a little bit more, I think there's more men in the US than women, we have to figure at least 25 million of those people are potential customers of Emma. Now, Emma knew the world of online dating was tough and competitive, and with thousands upon thousands of profiles to scroll through, a guy really needed to stand out to get noticed, and that's where her business idea was born. She decided to help guys craft and optimize their online dating profiles, and after having helped a few guy friends do theirs and being told, hey, you should start a business doing this, she decided to. Emma built a website and created 4 different dating packages ranging from $5 to $250. Those packages were the Profile Grade, the Tadpole, the Lily Pad, and the Prince. She thought her target market would be tech guys and tech workers and nerdy guys who either weren't good with women or weren't good at writing and who also had some disposable income. Now we'll cut straight to the chase. The business wasn't a huge success. It wound up making about $800, which is nothing to turn your nose up at, but Emma knew it wasn't going to turn into something huge. Now, granted, it might have been able to make a little bit more money with some more time and effort, but Emma just decided that it wasn't worth pursuing. And this is where the lesson in today's story comes through. Well, this business didn't take off the way she thought it would. It did wound up turning into something else entirely and had some other benefits as well. The first benefit was that this side hustle helped Emma land another job. Emma had applied for a job that she was a bit underqualified for. The employer happened to notice that while her experience was a little bit short, they did notice on her resume that she started Frog to Prince, and despite her lack of experience for the position, they were very impressed with her being a self-starter and essentially creating something out of nothing. I've actually had similar things happen to myself as well. After college, applying for my first professional jobs and career-type jobs, I didn't have a ton of experience outside of retail jobs and landscaping jobs. I did, however, have a couple businesses I started on my resume, and I had several employers comment on how they were impressed that I had started a business, which is something that a lot of people at my age hadn't done. And so it was something that helped me stand out from the other applicants. Emma wound up landing the job, and Emma's role at this job was marketing and copywriting, so she continued to refine her skills. She ultimately began taking on more and more freelance copywriting gigs outside of her job, and that actually wound up turning into her new side hustle. So Emma now works as a marketing consultant and copywriter, and she runs a full-time copywriting business called Stories by Emma. Emma has done work for companies like BuzzFeed and Girls Inc. While her initial side hustle only made $800, what it did wind up doing is helping her land a job, and that's in many ways what later helped her springboard her copywriting and consulting business, which has actually wound up turning out to be incredibly successful. You never know what will come of a side hustle, which is why it's so important that if you have an idea which you can launch with your existing skill set, little to no money, and with a limited amount of time and effort, you really have nothing to lose giving it a try. You never know what it will lead to. Now, before we cut out for the day, I figured I'd share with you guys a couple dating tips from Emma for any of you guys who are on dating sites. Emma says that with mobile dating being so popular these days, photos are very important, so make sure you got good photos up. Her other piece of advice is be very specific in your profile. Rather than just saying, I like reading mysteries, mention 3 mystery books you're currently reading or that are some of your favorites and why they're your favorites. Rather than saying, I like hanging out at a dive bar on Friday nights, mention a few of your favorite dive bars and a few of your favorite beers, and maybe what you like doing at the bars. Playing darts, playing pool, doing trivia night. One last tip she gave is to give a hook in your profile. In her profile, she said she mentioned how she was currently trying to stop eating candy and encouraged people to contact her and ask her how she's doing with that goal. She called this a hook and said it gives people an opening to approach you. I remember back when I was in the online dating game, I never knew a hook was called a hook necessarily, but I would look for hooks in women's profiles. Something a woman would mention in her profile that I could bring up and ask her about or tease her about. So many guys send out literally template forms to every woman within a 50-mile radius that by pointing out something in a woman's profile, it shows that you actually read the profile, and that can go a long way. That's one free dating tip from me, guys. Anyhow, I'm getting sidetracked. Is this an entrepreneurship channel or a pickup channel? Anyhow, guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's story, and until next time, this is Rules for Rebels and Side Hustle Tuesdays, signing out.